what makes a good skater? So a lot of people do the eye test if he skates fast down the ice, right? But maybe his okay, let me just do this. Straight line speed, okay? Your separation speed. Well, what the hell is separation speed? So it's funny. I was doing a camp clinic the other day, and I was really working on when they make a move, the separation speed, and a lot of kids weren't paying attention to it. And it's so funny, right? Until I said, "Listen, guys, this move is important now because this is then you turn on the jets so that you can separate yourself from someone, and that's how you make plays, or else nothing's going to happen." Oh, okay. So any separation speed, there's no point getting a puck, chipping it by someone's hip if you can't get away from them, right? So that's kind of like changing gears, actually. Okay, so that's being able. That's why we do a lot of drills where maybe an inside edge to 3 quick crossovers, so that you learn how to go slow to fast, fast to slow.
Yeah, and so
Very
just
important.
sorry to interrupt, but that's why McDavid is so effective as a skater.
There you go.
He's really fast on a straight line, fine.
Yeah.
But he can make a move, and he's up to top speed in 1 second, and he can turn it on in 1 second, and he's 5 feet away from the guy.
Yeah,
that's what makes him so effective, right?
Yeah.
So
your east-west skating, so that's your lateral movements, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very, very important to be able to have that 4-way mobility. So let me go back to the east-west skating. So that'd be your lateral movements. That'd be penalty killing, right? Like, I mean, that's your short area game. That's making a move on someone and be able to drive 10 feet wide or 8 feet wide when you're making a move. Very, very important to be lateral.
Any direction change, really.
Any direction change. Yeah, well, that's the next one is your 4-way mobility, right? Being able to stop, back up, pivot, having good hips and all that kind of stuff. Your foot speed, that would be, he's got foot speed in first 3 steps. Like, what does that mean? I'm not really necessarily sure what the difference are, but obviously for him. But that's something, your quick starts, I mean, you have to have them or else you're going to lose those short area battles. Deception. That's great. Do you add any deception to your game, which is a lot of people do not do, and edge work. And when you're doing edge work, it's kind of the slower, tedious stuff, right? So, is there anything there that you wanted to take a look at?
Well, I just want to say this again. This is this guy's breakdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, where things can be different depending on which scout you're asking. Because to me, like I put separation speed, first 3 strides, quick starts. That's kind of all in one, kind of. So the separation speed, not necessarily, but a lot of those kind of cross over. I don't know if you can necessarily break them off into specific
I would agree with that.
But you get the idea.
Yeah.
So it's like as a skater, just because I want to go through all of them too, because they're all good.
Yeah.
But just keep in mind as a skater, it's not just do you skate fast. Like think about how many different things you just pointed out that this guy and these scouts actually do these things, and they'll give you a grade. Like they'll write notes down about it.
Yeah.
They'll it's not just one thing. Skate in a straight line as fast as you can skate.
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah. So that's what I would look at as a player, as coach, as a trainer, and all that stuff. Like, what are you doing in training? Do you just skate? Like, if you have 2 drills for skating, or it's just like a lot of the times you see guys just getting bagged, like skate hard. Well, you're not working on anything.
Well, think about the deception one. That's where it's like
I talk about that all the time.
It's not just going fast, man.
No.
Deception is like you go to your heels and you make guys bite on moves.
Yeah.
It's like you're barely moving.
Yeah.
You watch like what's his Tampa Bay guy? Kucherov. Watch Kucherov pass the job on Charlie's team.
Yeah.
These types of guys are Patrick Kane's really good at it.
Yeah.
Where they can just little jukes. That's all with their edge work and deception that they're adding into to their game. That has nothing to do with skating fast.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. So when you're doing this, like ask yourself this, right? Like, but it's really important. How's my straight line speed? That's straight up forecheck, back check, getting up the ice. It's important. You have to have that. It can be worked in the gym. It can be worked on the ice a little bit. Your separation speed. So that's like, taking that, figuring out how I can go from long strides to the balls of my feet to add some quickness. Is it a crossover? Is it one crossover to add some to quickness, which it is. A lot of times off the balls of your feet, linear crossovers. So are you working those kind of things? Your east-west skating, can you go from one side to the other and gain an advantage, or just do it quickly, or add deception while you're doing that, right? Loading, that's what I call loading and exploding, right? That's what I use on the ice, is really understanding how to do something where when you're making a move or when you're getting somewhere, is to really load on one leg like the spring, and to bounce off to the other leg, right? Yeah. And that's so part of that is in working on that, some of that's going to be your deceleration speed. So let's sometimes we'll do what I call a 505 drill that I learned from a track and field, gold bronze medal decathlete showed me how important deceleration speed is, as it was like 20 years ago. And that's being able to go real fast and put the brakes on and explode back without your body, your upper body giving. It's got to come from your brakes being your hips and quads. So that's important. That's going to give you the lateral movement. Four-way mobility, forward, backward, sideways, real important. Foot speed, first 3 steps, to me, that's all the same thing. But if any time that you want to get in a short distance game, how is your foot speed? How are your first 3 steps? That's 10, 15 feet of playing hockey. Those are battles. Those are the penalty kills.
Yeah.
The real important parts. So the short area forechecks.
Yeah, so a little repetitive on that, but I want people to remember what we said at the start. So if you're the kid, are you working on these things? If you're the parent, is your trainer helping your kid work on these things? Or is the kid asking the question? And so like these are the types of things you need to pay attention to when you're listening to this today. It's like, and especially for the parents that you're spending money. You're spending money on the training. Is your guy hitting on any of these things? Does he even talk about any of these things? Is that even something that he says? Is he explaining why? These are the questions. So
yeah.
Continue.
The next one was shooting. So power. So what's funny about shooting is people like Charlie's played with a couple kids in youth hockey that's pretty good shots. Hit the glass every time. Hard shots. They hit the glass every time. There's no point to the shot, right? I've seen that a million times. So shooting, do you have power or do you shoot muffins? Accuracy, and I just said this 2 days ago, or last week to a group of kids, because it's like the slower time of training. And I said, I explained, this is going to be a little bit slower because you guys are just finished hockey. You really shouldn't be on the ice right now, but we're going to work on, movement and not real bag skating, not real hard shooting, and slow skill works, and to think about it. I said, so when you're shooting, the only thing I want you to do after the end of this drill for shooting, the only time I want you to go hard is when you're jumping into a shot. I want you to actually take that and shoot like you're shooting to score in a game, and have a purpose. Pick 1 or 2 areas that you want to score every single time. But the bottom line is, let's hit the net for starters. Actually, and I know that sounds really yeah, well, no shit. Well, yeah, but no shit.
Yeah. Seriously.
I can't tell you how many guys shoot pucks and they just hope it gets somewhere in the net. It's like there's no purpose to it. So for starters, let's start hitting the net, right? Release, right? Are you telegraphing your shot? Does it come off quick? That's what, if you get a quick pass in the slot or in any area, can you get it off quick without winding up and telegraphing everything you do? Really, really important. Because in games, and I was working on that a lot with the kids in our shooting camps recently, is not the fancy stuff, just getting it on and off your stick. Because a lot of people, they have it and they have to stick handle, or they have to do a big setup, and it's that's not how you're going to score goals.
Yeah.
Deception, I talk about that all the time, is look one way, do something else.
Hide in the puck, that kind of shit.
Hide in the puck. Your long range shot, can you shoot from the top of the circles or the blue line? Your short range shot, can you put it upstairs? Can you pick little corners or find holes? One-timers. One of the things I would say for one-timers is your short area one-timer. So the thing with one-timers is you want to be able to handle pucks that are coming at you really fast. A lot of time one-timers isn't, the back scratcher. It's keeping the stick on the ice and actually dropping to a knee and just redirecting. That's one. Anyways, there's a lot of stuff to do with that. Shot in motion, what that means is just, can you move your feet and shoot at the same time? Hiding the puck within your stick handling. Really, really important, because you never show shot. Your hand-eye coordination and shot management. Hand-eye coordination, that would be, for me, what I would call proprioceptive work, so that you do things where pucks might be in the air and you have to bounce it down and shoot. Odd angles. Right, so your body awareness. And shot management, well, that's more of a, are you shooting for rebounds? Are you shooting for high percentages?
Yeah.
So those are important, because so all these things is you can have a good shot, but what does that actually mean?
Right.
Does it mean hard? Does it mean accurate? Is there any deception? All these things add up to something. At the higher the levels, the more each one of these is more important.
It's just like training, man. You start general when you're a kid learning, and then as you get older and more experience, you get more specific. And one of the things I wanted to point out about shooting is, now within that, you guys now have an idea of the breakdown of what some of these things are. And one of the things I realized in junior, I had one year where I scored a bunch of goals, and a lot of the goals I scored were just from getting the puck quick, like off quick. Like a lot of them, a lot of the goals I scored just getting the puck off quick. And that was, I have one vividly. I can still remember it in my head. We were on a power play, and I used to be the pocket guy because I had a touch that year for some reason where I could just get them off and score. So my coach just said, you can have all this area and you just float around and do whatever, just get open. And I remember I scored one goal. I was like by the hash marks, and I was open for like a split second. I was open, and the guy got it to me from down low, like one of those what you call honey hole, and I was more in the middle, like towards the slot. But he got it to me, and I had no time, and it was a weird pass. And I remember I was almost like falling over, and I just kind of like whacked at it towards the net. And I remember the goalie just didn't have time to read it, and it went up, and it like fluffed off his glove and went in. And I remember like, I can't believe I scored that. Like I literally just whacked it at the net. And I scored so many goals like that year where I was just in a good spot and was had no power on it at all, not even accurate, but just my release was just a bang bang, like you were talking about the one guy you were working with the other night, bang bang, on and off. And so there's little elements like this that can make you really effective. So it doesn't have to be get it 2 stick handles and rip it as hard as you can, right? And like there's a time and a place to use all these different characteristics that you're talking about, but pay attention to what the different things are because you can use all of them, you know?
Yeah, it's funny because, you'll see in practice or in our skill sessions that if someone, we're doing a shooting drill, let's say, and someone doesn't get the pass where they want it, they send it back because no, I want it here. It's like, that's the wrong answer.
Yeah,
you have to figure out how to get it off.
Such a good point,
So
man.
I've been doing it on purpose to give bad passes, to collect those. Like, that's a skill, man. That's a skill to take bad passes, whether you're shooting or not. If it's behind you, how do you react? If it's in the air, do you say, well, I can't get that one? Or do you no, lock it down, kick it with your skates? So anyways, with the shooting, there is a time and a place where you want to, like, I'm not saying don't do this. You have to do this. You got to do proper shooting, like learn where your strengths are, the different types of shots. If it's out in front of you, if you catch the puck behind you, if it's back, all these different things. But what I've been doing lately is I was thinking the other day, because George he said, hey, when you with Charlie, you can just have lots of shooting. Well, we could do like a lot of shooting. That mean, we'll work on this shot all day, but what actually happens in a game? So you have to think about that as a trainer, right? So I was thinking for the kids, I was thinking the other day, I need something different. So I said, you know what? Let's take it off a face-off. So I set up, we did it for about an hour. The kids loved it. So I did different face-off scenarios. So let's just say it was offensive zone face. Obviously, offense. You're not shooting for your own end. And we would be one spot on the dot or higher or whatever. And so the guys at first, because they're so used to doing, they want everything to be perfect. The first guys that were pretending to do the face-offs, they would try to put it on the tape perfect. I said, no. When you're in a game, do you get a pass off a face-off where any time in a game where it's perfect every time you shoot? I said, I want you to do a face-off hard. And if it's in his feet, I want him to react. If it's outside, I want him to get to it and get it off quick. That's the point of this drill, or find space, but I want it off quick. So they absolutely loved it. And what they would ask, like, how should I shoot from here? How should I shoot from there? I said, just shoot. I want you to figure out that no one needs to tell me, just shoot. Yeah. Get it on, off, inside foot, outside foot. I don't care. But I want it on your stick and off your stick, and the element of surprise. And they loved it. Yep. So I've been doing a ton of that lately because that's really...
Dude, this is so important, man. This is freaking money gold right now because these guys, like, practice is not a game, okay? And you need to try to make your practice like a game. And this was something I remember, just an analogy I was thinking about while you were doing this is, if you think of practice like school, like that's your learning time, most of the time, if any kid that's in school, anytime you have a question on a test, it's like a perfect situation. It's like Jenny has 3 apples and Brian has 4 apples. And then if you add them, how many? It's like perfect. It's like, no, because in real life, sometimes you'll have half an apple. The bird took a bite out of that one. Yeah. Now how many apples do you have?
Jenny thought she had 3 apples, but Bert ate one.
Yeah, right? Right? No, seriously, that's
I didn't tell her.
Yeah, that's right. And that's the analogy. So you drop the puck off a face-off and a guy like fluffs it back to him at -4 miles an hour. So he's got the perfect amount of time to crack it right in his feet. It's like, that's not how the game is going to be, man. So it's so important that you guys start to think of that. If you're a skills coach, if you're a trainer, whatever, make it a game. Make it a game. If you're practicing, make it like a game. And that's an important thing that you're starting to bake into the kids' heads. It's important.
Yeah.